Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Gamecock Central. My name is Kendall Smith, joined alongside of somebody you all probably already know. It is Kai Kroeger, South Carolina's punter, and this is an exclusive interview presented by Garnet Trust and 360 Clean. And we just got to take a couple minutes to start off here, Kai. I have to go through all of your accolades. I'm sure everybody already knows, but I have them written down here on my phone. It's kind of a long list. So like I said, Kai, the punter for the Gamecocks, he's first team All-American by The Athletic this year, second team All-America by the American Football Coaches Association, second team All-America by the Walter Camp Football Foundation, All-SEC first team punter, second nationally in punting average, pinned 25% of his punts inside the 10-yard line. And if that's not enough for you guys, he was 3 for 3 of passes for 84 yards on fake punts against Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Florida. I can finally exhale because I was able to say all that, and that didn't even cover everything, Kai, but we're so excited to have you here today. And how are you doing, just to start things off?
I'm doing great. This is exciting to do this. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, I think everyone's going to be really excited when they see that you are the Garnet Trust interview today, because you have just been so fantastic all season for South Carolina. So much excitement around you and what you've been able to do for the program, and, you know, just a lot of excitement around the program in general right now. You guys practiced for your first bowl practice yesterday as you head into the Gator Bowl on December 30th. So I guess just kind of starting things off there, it's a crazy time in college football right now. The portal is crazy, lots of changes being made, but back out there getting ready for the Gator Bowl. How was practice yesterday, Kai? And maybe with some of those younger guys getting a little bit more of an opportunity, how was that?
Yeah, it was super exciting. You know, all the guys were super happy to be back, and you can kind of feel it's like not really a new kind of energy, but just it was different, you know, and especially with the recent changes with some of the players on the team, and obviously the addition, Coach Loggins, it's just kind of everyone's more anxious to be there, and everyone's having fun being there. And now, like you said, it's a great opportunity for the young guys, and we saw that a lot yesterday. Now people that maybe weren't getting the reps in practice or the games are now, you know, they're the 1 or the 2 at their spot. So it's really exciting. It's definitely a fun time to be a part of the program, and looking forward for another great practice later today.
You mentioned Coach Loggins there, and like you said, new addition to South Carolina's staff, the new offensive coordinator. What has it been like kind of getting to know him and being introduced to him over the last couple of days?
Yeah, so yesterday was the first time that I had seen him or the team had saw him. But I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him yet, so I'm definitely gonna try to do that today. But I can tell he knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about, and I can tell a lot of the offensive guys like him. I heard Spencer saying some great things, and so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the production next year.
So it's weird because we're just 2 weeks away from the bowl game. We're recording this on December 16th. It's a Friday. So bowl game coming up so soon, and the time has gone by so fast. I feel like since that initial announcement was made that South Carolina will be in the Gator Bowl. But when you found out that you were going to Jacksonville to play Notre Dame, and I know you're from the Midwest, so very storied program, pretty close to where you're from, what was your reaction, Kai?
It was probably a mix of shocked and exciting at the same time. Obviously, there was a lot of speculation about which bowl game we'd be in. And one of my high school teammates plays for Notre Dame. He's one of their defensive linemen. So that kind of adds a little bit of it for me. But definitely super excited to play them. They're obviously a great team. They have a lot of history. It's just another chance for us to go out and play a great opponent. And, you know, Coach Beamer always says it's about us. But I'd say this game has a little bit more meaning, especially for me. But.
Yeah, and playing in, you know, such a big time bowl game marquee matchup. This matchup came as a result of a successful season and 2 very successful weekends back to back in beating Tennessee and Clemson to finish off the year. So when you're in situations like that, Kai, when you're, you know, beating 2 top 10 teams in a row, what are the emotions like during those games? And then what is it like after the games when you win?
You know, during the games, you're trying to stay as focused as you can. But, you know, when you're competing, obviously we know we can compete with anybody. But, you know, just kind of after all the outside noise is saying how we're going to get blown out and all that. And then, you know, we're in the game competing, and that just kind of, although you're trying to focus, you're kind of overfilled with emotion. And especially for me, I don't really have to worry about, the playbooks and all that. So I can kind of bring more juice and be energetic on the sidelines. So that makes it fun for me. And then obviously afterwards, guys are crying, they're screaming, we're out on the field with the fans for a long period of time. And then seeing, Coach Beamer's emotions and, the administration's emotions, that's what it's all about. And just kind of doing what we can to give the school and give Coach Beamer, what they work so hard to give us in. And I just love it. I love it so much. And especially the Clemson game, we had all of our fans on the, other team's field, and it just kind of definitely give a lot of credit to Gamecock Nation and, being all these fans that run up to us and that they traveled all that way and then they're taking over another opponent's field. It's really been a great experience.
Such a surreal moment. It's funny because I'm obviously a reporter, but I'm a student at Carolina too, still a senior there. So getting those wins, I cried definitely during the Tennessee win. And then after the Clemson win, it was just like this overwhelming, joy and excitement, two different feelings, but still so exciting. And Gamecock Nation feeling that all around as well. And Kai, you were so vital all season long for South Carolina, especially during those last couple of weekends, and especially during that Clemson game. You were absolutely phenomenal during that game, to put it lightly. So I want to know more about your process, because I think punting is so interesting. So how do you chart punts? What are you looking for when you go out there? What things kind of matter to you? Because when you go out there, it seems like you're just pinning the perfect punt almost every time.
Yeah, it definitely depends on how far we are away from the end zone and where we are on the field. And I kind of have a general kind of knowledge about, let's say there's no wind, I kind of know how far I'm going to hit each punt. But like the Clemson game, we had a lot of them where it was in that gray area of where I didn't know if I wanted to hit kind of that end over end shorter punt or like the spiral. And then we saw a few of them just kind of took off. And luckily I got the good bounce inside the 10 a lot of times. But normally I just kind of, when we go out there, I know where we are on the field and I just try to pick a spot. And then from there, I try not to think about anything. I just try to clear my mind, because I've noticed when I start to overthink, that kind of leads to, poor performances and kind of just overthinking what I'm doing. So I go out there and just kind of have an idea of what I want to do. And then, Hunter snaps me the ball and it's just kind of muscle memory from there.
So I definitely want to talk more about all that, but you mentioned Hunter, so that's just the perfect opportunity to segue into what happened to him yesterday. He's long snapper for the Gamecocks. He got put on scholarship. What was that moment like for you to watch, Kai?
It was unbelievable. Coach Beamer was going over kind of individual performances throughout the season, and then obviously Hunter being named second team All SEC. And I had no idea what was coming. And then Coach Beamer kind of said he brought up the walk-on part. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's no way. And then all of a sudden he says it, and I couldn't be more happy for him. Hunter and I came in at the same time in 2020, and I'd spent a lot of time at his house. We'd go out fishing and still do. So, I couldn't be more happy for him. He's definitely the most deserving guy out there, and excited for what's to come.
This special teams unit has done great things all year, and you're on a team that really emphasizes special teams, so much to the point where there's a term in Beamer ball that literally refers to special teams. What is it like to play on a team that values the importance of your position and special teams as a whole so much?
It's definitely fun to be a part of. Definitely being a part of a unit that gets so much attention, not only within the team, but now nationwide. And it's, we're able to see that the impact it can have on the game. And so now that, some guys at the beginning might've been like special teams, I don't want to be on punt return or something like that. But now, we're ranked, top in the country in the special teams efficiency, and we're seeing the impact that it has on games. I think that brings a lot more juice to the team. And now guys want to be on special teams, and Coach Lembo's office someone's always there knocking on his door, asking what unit they can get on and whatnot. So definitely makes me feel good to feel that I'm somewhere that respects special teams and guys that want to be on special teams.
You talk about Coach Lembo there. Are you still a history major?
I am.
Okay. Yeah. So that's awesome, because I think anyone who knows a little bit about Coach Lembo knows that he loves his history. But what is it like playing for him? Because he's obviously such a talented football mind, but he's such a unique person as well. So what is it like playing for him, Kai?
I think you nailed it right on the head when you said, he's a unique person, because, he shoots us texts all the time. and even text like with our academic people. And then I texted him one day in one of my classes there. We were talking about propaganda in one of my history classes. And he always uses this poster that says, "Don't speak the enemy language," when talking about just using our terminology. And in one of my classes, that picture was put up there. So I sent him a picture, and he said he loved it and wanted to come sit in one of the classes. So I think he makes it very personable and makes it a great environment for all of us, and definitely keeps the room kind of lighthearted and, it's a lot of times it's funny, but, also serious when we need to be.
Obviously, you've got a big time future in football, but why'd you pick history for your major?
So originally I started in education with a focus in history and English. And then just kind of going through my first 2 years, I realized that maybe English wasn't the route. And I just kind of wanted to focus on history itself. So I decided to switch up and go to history. And I've got a criminal justice minor. So kind of getting into that part, because those are two things that I love: history and then law, and just kind of history, or I guess law history itself. And so I just kind of figured that might as well do something that I'm interested in, instead of, just kind of going along with something that, I don't have full love in.
Yeah, I don't blame you about the English thing. I took a couple English classes. I'm a journalism major, so that's like a horrible thing to say, but all the essays and the reading, it wasn't fun. So it's a lot, but history, obviously very interesting, law, very interesting. And it's great to hear that you're very invested in what you're studying. Always a great thing, because, student athlete.
There we go.
So we love that, student first, always. But Kai, something that I find so interesting is the fact that you are a punter, because I think a lot of people go into football and they're like, oh, I want to be a quarterback. And, you do have your quarterback skills, of course. I want to be a receiver, a running back, whatever it might be. Why did you choose to be a punter?
Well, so I actually started off in that group saying, I want to play quarterback. I want to score points and all that. And punting was just kind of like my side thing. And then probably my freshman year of high school is when I realized that, I'm probably not going to be a college quarterback, and that my talent would be in punting. And so I had been training at punting still since 7th grade. So after those 2 years is when I kind of realized that would be my route. And another thing, I'm not going to get hit. My body's going to stay healthy, at least hopefully. And so my mom was always worried growing up, and still is, about, be careful, you don't want to injure yourself, injure the leg or something like that. And so she was happy that I made that switch, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a long career.
Well, you're on the right track for sure. I mean, I definitely put my money on you if I had to. But, you mentioned there, staying healthy and making sure you're prepared and ready. What does it look like for you to prepare for a game? Because I'm sure it's a little bit different than the other teammates that you have, but what does that pregame prep look like?
So I'd say the week leading up, obviously, so we punt on Tuesdays. And then after that, I try to just shut it down as much as I can. Obviously with practice and whatever, we still have to kick. But I'll get in the cold tubs after practice. When it hasn't been too cold this year, but I would get in the hot tubs before practice when it got cold. But otherwise, just trying to hydrate and eat throughout the day is probably the biggest struggle for me, at least. And then I try to stretch before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning. And then more recently, I started going to Pilates. So that's actually helped a lot. I've noticed some differences already, but just really anything I can do to, make sure my legs are feeling great is what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm a yoga teacher, actually, and we have like Luke, and I think we had Mitch come a few weeks ago to our classes, which is great. But Pilates is also awesome as well. I think it's fun to see, some of these football players going into these yoga and Pilates classes.
I know, yeah.
The difference it makes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, especially for us and flexibility.
Right. Yeah. Always a great thing. Well, you talked about nutrition there, and you won the nutrition award this year, Kai. So what goes into winning an award like that for the team?
So for me specifically, ever since I got here, has been just gaining weight, whether hopefully it's good weight, but, just putting on pounds, because I came in, I'm trying to think now, 30 pounds less than what I am now. And I'm still I'm not going to say skinny. I think I've maybe upgraded from that, but I'm more slender. And so I think since the last season, I've put on 18 pounds. And so that kind of contributed to or I'm hoping that contributed to me getting that award. And I'm always talking to Kristen, and she's great at helping me make a diet that's good and not only healthy, but getting the right amount of carbs and calories in. So that's something I'm still trying to do, still trying to gain some more weight. Hopefully next year I'll be at the goal. But it's just been an ongoing thing now for the last 3 years.
Staying on the topic of nutrition, when you win a big game like Clemson or Tennessee and you get that post-game meal, what would be your ideal post-game meal, Kai?
Man, ideal. I think for a post-game meal, I love the Chick-fil-A. Normally it's the 2 chicken sandwiches and then the chicken nuggets with some Chick-fil-A sauce. Whenever that's after the game, I'm definitely happy to see it and know that it's going to be a good meal afterwards.
Kai, you're so versatile as a player. We talked about you being in the quarterback spot for some of those fake punts. Obviously, you're a punter, you're on the hands team, you're a holder, and you've been so successful in all of those positions. What do you think has contributed to your success in so many different areas on the field?
I think it definitely starts with just confidence in general, especially or when I see, let's say we're throwing in practice or something, working on fakes, and I'm kind of running through it in my mind and making the throws and seeing that, maybe it's like a difficult read for a pass, like the Georgia play, for example, that was kind of like a dual read type deal. But, seeing that, I can do it, that gives me the confidence. And then also definitely the mental preparation. And I've talked about this before with my punting, just kind of the mental work that I've done, especially this season, just preparing, whether it's the night before a game, before practice, before throw or punt, just kind of getting my mind right for the moment has definitely paid off big for those type of plays and the different positions that I've been in.
When you're like doing that mental kind of work, are you envisioning the play or what does that kind of look like?
So part of it is visualization and seeing the play over and over happen. And then part of it also is some self-talk. I just kind of go out there and saying like, all right, you're going to make the throw. Like, no, there's no need to worry about it. And then just taking a deep breath and everything just kind of happens from there.
So when you go out there and they're like, all right, Kai, it's time for a fake punt, like, is your mind just like continuing to visualize it or are you freaking out or what's that process like of walking out there on the field?
So once they say we're running the fake and we run on the field, I mean, my heart is racing more than probably any punt. So while I'm going out there, that's kind of when the self-talk and the visualization occurs. But once I kind of get behind Hunter back there, then I try to just, like I'm punting, I just try to clear my mind so I'm not worried about it. And then, once the ball is snapped, everything just kind of happens.
I still think you got snubbed for the Heisman. I mean, no disrespect to Caleb Williams, but you were, like I said, 3 for 3 against Vandy, Florida, and Georgia this year on those fake punt attempts. So always good to see that and always added a little bit of spice to the games. I liked it when I was sitting down there watching. I was like, okay, like love that. But let's get into some fun questions, Kai, because I know that the fan base wants to know you better. Obviously, they want to know about your football, but they want to know you as a person too. So with Christmas coming up, with the holiday season coming up, what is the number one thing on your wish list this year, Kai?
Ooh, that's tough. Right now, I'm actually trying to save up to buy a new fishing combo. I'm trying to get another. Right now, I'm trying to think. I think they're in the garage, but right now I've got three sets, 3 rods. But I'm trying to go for the 4th one. And for those who know fishing, I've got 3 bait casting rods, and I'm trying to get a spinning reel combo going. So those can get pretty expensive. So that's what I'm saving up for right now.
Are you out on like Lake Murray fishing, or where's the spot in Columbia?
Yeah, so one of my roommate, actually, Alex Herrera, our kicker, he lives out by Spring Valley High School. That's where he went, out in Wildwood. So he's got like it's like a pond lake kind of thing. So we go out there on like a little John boat. And then a couple weeks ago, Ben Rollins took me and him out on Lake Murray. He's got a bass boat. So we went out there and fished for a couple hours, but really anywhere I can get out is where I'm trying to go.
What is it with fishing in the winter? Isn't it harder to fish in the winter? You have to go at like 6 a.m. or something.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder, which can be either more fun or not as fun. But that's why it's called fishing and not catching. So
So
Yep,
fair point. Patience is a virtue, something I do not
exactly.
have. So every time I have gone fishing, which has been maybe 2 times or 3 times in my life, I get frustrated because I can't get the fish to take the bait.
Yep.
Um, Anyways, I guess that kind of leads to the next question. Maybe fishing is the answer, but when you have an off day, what does the perfect off day look like?
Okay. The perfect off day would probably be waking up around 9:30, getting breakfast, and then getting to the golf course around 11:15, and playing around to golf. I try, especially now since we're off, but golf is definitely my favorite hobby and something that I do almost every day. I go down to the range, Partee Golf Center, right in West Columbia. I'm there. You can find me there in the summer pretty much every day, and in the winter almost the same. Just trying to improve my golf game and keep that going.
Partee is the spot. Last time I showed up there, I actually went in, bought the bucket of balls, came back out to my car, and my golf clubs were not in my trunk. So
Mm,
I gave it to some guy who was going in. I was like, you know what? It's my good deed for the
yeah.
day. But good thing in Jacksonville, you'll be very close to TPC Sawgrass. I don't know if you'll have
Mm.
any time to golf there, but that would be the best.
Yeah, we talked about it, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be like $600 to play.
Oh,
So I was planning on going next summer with some of my friends that golf at Columbia College, and so hopefully that'll still happen. But it's definitely going to be kind of aggravating that we're going to be so close and not able to play. But yeah,
maybe they'll give you guys a hookup. Just be like, I'm
hopefully,
Kai
yeah, hopefully,
Kroeger. I could have won the Heisman. Just, give me a little hookup on the course.
yeah,
Who knows?
hopefully that'll work.
You never
But
know. Who's the
yeah,
best golfer on the team, Kai?
ooh, it's probably between Mitch and Alex. They're both they'll shoot 75 pretty regularly. So they're pretty good, but I'm trying to get there. So that's why I'm going out there every day.
So if you could play another sport besides football, would it be golf or would it be something else?
If you asked me 2 years ago, it would have been basketball, but now it's definitely golf.
So are you a Bulls fan since you're from Illinois, or like who's the NBA team for basketball?
Yeah, so I'm a Bulls fan, but I'm a LaMelo Ball fan individually. I've
Okay.
got probably four of his jerseys here, but no, I'm a Bulls fan for sure.
That's awesome. I was just at United Center last Friday for Blackhawk game. My
Gotcha.
first
Yeah.
one ever, and it was awesome. Haven't been to a Bulls game, but that like facility in general is
Yeah.
incredible. So you're coming up on some vacation time, hopefully. I don't know how much off time you guys will get in January, but
Mhm.
hopefully a few weeks. So if you could go anywhere in the world, Kai, for a vacation, where would you go?
So somewhere that I've always wanted to go would be the Maldives. Um, I don't know much about the area. I just see TikToks all the time and top vacation spots that aren't super expensive. And so just see videos and pictures of it, and it looks beautiful. So that's probably where I'd go if I had the choice.
Kai, the fan base, they love you so much. You're always on Twitter. They're talking about you. They're tweeting at you. I mean, I haven't heard any person in this fan base say one bad thing about Kai Kroeger. Everybody loves you. So what does it mean to have the support of Gamecock Nation behind you so much?
For me, that's what it's all about is, I'm just so fortunate to be here and to see the support from the fans and how invested they are. That just makes me, want to push to be even better. And, like you've seen some of the tweets I've sent out, I just, we're here for Gamecock Nation. And, I want them to know that I'm going to give it my all. And I'm not, there's no doubts in my mind. And the people that I'm hanging around with, we're all here. So it definitely makes a difference. And even, I talk with my family about it. They say the same thing, and they say that they love the fan base, and, they didn't have any, I guess, college interests or college teams that they followed. But now everyone, in my family tree is Gamecock fan, and they love, they see all the tweets and they love it.
So much excitement around the program and so much to look forward to. Just talk about the future of this program, Kai, and how much you're looking forward to what's to come for Gamecock Nation.
So especially after this year, I could not be more excited. Obviously the focus is Notre Dame in 2 weeks. But looking ahead, I don't, it's almost like, I don't know where the program can go or where it's going to go. But I mean that in the best way possible. Seeing with, now we've got some new staff and new players coming in and recruits and all that. I almost want to, fast forward right away just to see, what it's going to be like next year. But super excited. And I know all the guys feel the same way.
Well, Kai, thank you so much for doing this interview for Garnet Trust presented by 360 Clean. So fun to get to talk to you. So happy for you and all that you've accomplished this year, and cannot wait to see what you accomplish, not only in the bowl game, but also next year as well. I'm a little sad that I'm graduating in May because, like you said, I am so excited about what the future of Gamecock football holds. So it's going to be awesome, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I got one more thing. Gamecock country, let's ride.